Why do we waste our strength chasing after someone who's already made it clear they're not staying? Why do we hand over our inner peace to someone who deliberately chose chaos? You're sitting there, heart split wide open, replaying every memory like it's a movie you didn't ask to star in, scrolling through old texts, watching the ghost of her promises echo through your mind. Every laugh, every kiss, every time she said, "I'll never leave." But she did. And now, here you are, standing at the edge of something brutal and beautiful. This isn't just heartbreak. This is a crossroad. You either break into 1,000 scattered pieces, or you forge yourself into something unshakable, something steel. Pain isn't here to destroy you. It's not your punishment. It's your blueprint. It's showing you with surgical precision where your emotional armor cracked. It's pointing directly to the parts of you that need reinforcement. Every ache, every silent night, every tear you didn't want to shed. It's not weakness. It's construction. This isn't your ending, it's your ignition point. She thought she broke you by walking away. She pictured you in the dark, paralyzed by the absence she left behind. She believed you'd sit still, hoping, waiting, wondering. But real men? They don't wait. They don't plead. They build. They evolve. They take the storm that's raging inside and learn to command it. Stoicism isn't about turning to stone. It's not numbness. It's about mastering your mind so deeply that even the fiercest hurricane bows before your stillness. It's about standing so grounded, so composed, that the world begins to question if you ever felt pain in the first place. Yes, feel the pain, but do not become it. Yes, acknowledge the emotions, but never let them dictate your moves. You owe her nothing now. Not a text, not a closure conversation, not even a thought. You owe everything to the man you are becoming. And when you choose to disappear, it won't be out of bitterness. It won't be out of spite. It will be out of sacred discipline. You'll vanish with surgical precision, because your energy is not cheap. Your focus is not disposable. And your future? It's too powerful to be shared with someone who willingly walked away. No messages, no calls, no long emotional paragraphs. Just silence, just evolution, just you, rising. Let her wonder where you went. Let her question if she made the right decision. But you move like a ghost she can no longer chase. This is the rebirth she never saw coming. This is the version of you that no one warned her about. If you're done clinging to the ashes of what could have been, if you're ready to step into the fire and emerge as someone stronger, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I rise above the ruins. Number 1. Pain is the beginning, not the end. You think pain means you've failed, that you lost, that you were weak. But pain, it's the call to rise. It's the alarm that says your soul is finally waking up. That sting in your chest, those sleepless nights, that ache in your gut, it's trying to shake you out of the coma you were living in. Pain is your teacher, the brutal kind, the honest kind, the kind that shows you exactly what was real and what never was. It's the fire that burns off the illusions, the fantasy version of love you clung to, the false promises, the dream that was always one-sided. And most people, they run from it. They drown it in distractions. They numb it with alcohol. Endless scrolling, fake smiles, rebound flings. They bury it under temporary pleasures, hoping it will disappear. But not you, not anymore. A Stoic doesn't run. A Stoic doesn't numb. He steps into the fire and lets it incinerate what no longer belongs. He watches it burn, watches it hurt, and still stands tall. No flinching, no self-pity, only transformation. If you're hurting right now, don't mistake it for punishment. Consider it a sacred gift, clarity, because pain reveals truth faster than any apology ever could. It speaks louder than words. It rips away the lies and shows you what's real. It's in the silence after betrayal that the loudest truths scream through. She's gone. She made her decision. Now it's your turn. You can either collapse and stay there, or you can rise, bloodied but unbroken, and become someone untouchable. And here's the thing. You don't rush this. You don't heal to impress anyone. You heal because you finally respect yourself. Healing isn't a race. It's a rebirth. Let the scar tissue grow thick and strong. Let it remind you every day that you survived what was meant to kill you. And the man who learns to wear his pain as armor, he becomes untouchable. Not just to her, but to anyone who thought they could ever manipulate him again. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your coronation. If you're ready to stop treating your scars like shame and start wearing them like armor, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment. I forge strength from pain. Number 2, she expects you to break. She expects you to unravel, to be broken and bruised, endlessly scrolling through old pictures, waiting for a second chance that's never coming. She expects the late-night texts, the I miss you messages, the desperation. That's what she's counting on. Your weakness is fuel for her ego. Your pain validates her decision. But you're about to destroy that entire narrative. You're not her safety net. You're not her backup plan. You're not the man who stays broken so she can feel powerful. She expects you to fall apart, but instead, you're going to rise. And you're going to rise so far, so high, that her memory won't even be able to reach you. No drunk texts, no emotional posts, no can we talk messages, just silence, just distance, just growth. Understand something very clearly. The person who walks away always thinks they have control. They assume they've left a mark so deep you'll never recover. But when you go silent, when you level up instead of breaking down, you steal that power back. Suddenly, she's not the one being chased. She's the one haunted by what she threw away. And the more you grow, the more you become a mystery, not a memory. And mystery, that's the one thing regret can never silence. Let her wonder what happened to the man she once knew. Let her realize that the version of you she thought she understood doesn't even exist anymore. You're not sitting in the ruins. You're building something she was never invited to. If you're done being predictable, done feeding her ego with your suffering, and ready to become the silent storm she never saw coming, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment. My silence is my strength. Number 3, disappear to reclaim power. The biggest mistake you could make right now, staying visible, hovering around her digital world, watching her stories, leaving subtle breadcrumbs she can trace back to you. That's not strength, that's access. And access is power. Every time you look, Every time you linger, you're letting her know you're still available, still affected, still in orbit. But when you disappear completely, digitally, emotionally, mentally, you reclaim every ounce of your power, because nothing confuses someone who thought they broke you more than silence. Real silence. Not the petty kind, not the "I'm trying to make you notice" kind, but the kind where you are simply gone. She's watching her own stories now, wondering if you're watching. She's refreshing her inbox, wondering why it's empty. She's scrolling through your absence and realizing it's louder than any word you could have ever said. This isn't about revenge. It's about rebirth. It's about creating a version of yourself so focused, so unstoppable that she's no longer even part of the equation. So vanish. Not because you're bitter, but because you're sacred. Your time is sacred. Your energy is sacred. Your peace is sacred. If you're ready to stop being the echo in someone else's story and start being the author of your own empire, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment. I disappear to reclaim power. You've already begun the transformation. You've stopped begging. You've stopped reacting. Now comes the most powerful move of all: disappearing. When you stay visible, you remain predictable. But when you vanish without explanation, without theatrics, you become dangerous. That's what she never expected. She assumed you'd linger, circling her world like some lost satellite, still tethered to the gravity of her absence, still checking in at 2:00 a.m. for signs she might care. But instead, you remove yourself entirely. No passive likes, no poetic quotes, no accidental views of her story. Just silence. Not for revenge, not for drama, but because power speaks best when it doesn't speak at all. When you disappear, the message is deafening. I no longer exist where I'm not respected. That absence, it echoes louder than any monologue you could have delivered. It shakes her certainty, because human nature fears the unknown. As long as she can see you, she can predict you, categorize you, dismiss you. But the moment you vanish, you become a question mark in her mind, an open loop. And nothing torments the mind like an unfinished story. Disappearing doesn't mean you stop living. It means you start living louder, but off her radar. You shift your attention, you build your body, you sharpen your mind, you invest in your purpose. Meanwhile, in her digital world, all that remains is silence. And that silence, it grows heavier with time. It whispers in her ear what she failed to see before, that she lost something she never truly understood. So, if you're ready to stop giving your presence to people who misused it, if you're ready to vanish from her world and reclaim your seat on your own throne, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence commands respect. Number 4. Emotional control is king. Want to know what separates the broken from the unshakable? It's not success, not status, not charm. It's emotional control. Master that, and you master your destiny. Lose it, and you become a puppet to anyone who knows where your buttons are. She thought she still had that power over you, thought she could trigger a reaction, ignite a breakdown, haunt your nights with what-ifs and almosts. She expected an emotional mess, a man who couldn't handle the storm. But true power, it's not loud, it's not showy. It's in the quiet moments where everything inside you screams to act, and you choose stillness instead. It's the discipline to feel everything and act on none of it. That's rare. That's elite. And most men, they never pick up that weapon. Instead, they spiral. They obsess. They lash out. They replay old conversations like broken records. But a Stoic man, he doesn't deny emotion. He masters it. He observes the pain, the rage, the heartbreak. But he refuses to be ruled by it. He watches the tide rise, nods in acknowledgement, and lets it pass. No panic, no impulsiveness, just clarity, just focus. When you command your emotions, you regain control of your future. But if you let your emotions command you, you remain trapped in the past, stuck in a narrative written by someone who already walked away. She wanted control. She wanted to know she still had a grip on your heart. But now, you've cut every string. You're not reactive. You're not volatile. You're composed, grounded, unmoved. And when she finally realizes she can no longer provoke a response, when her name doesn't make your pulse skip, when her memory doesn't break your breath, that's when her regret begins. So if you're done being a slave to emotions you never invited, if you're ready to wear composure like armor, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I rule myself. Number 5. Focus only on what you can control. Most men destroy themselves trying to fix what isn't theirs to fix. She left. She moved on. She said things she can't take back. You can't undo that. You can't force regret. You can't make someone see your value once they've already decided they don't. Every second you spend replaying the breakup, analyzing the silence, reading between the lines, you're feeding a fire that only burns you. And the truth is brutal, but freeing. Your power ends where your control ends. You can't control her decisions, her feelings, her future. You can't control whether she remembers you fondly or forgets your name. But you can control your own rebirth. You can control the man you become when the pain fades, the habits you build, the strength you forge, the discipline you develop. That's the turning point. The moment you stop trying to fight battles that were never yours and start investing every ounce of focus into your own evolution. Because focus is your currency. Every thought, every minute, every piece of attention is either a deposit into your future or a withdrawal from your soul. Stop funding the past. Stop financing her memory. Start investing in your mission. Let her fade into the noise while you build something so magnificent she doesn't even qualify to witness it. You owe her nothing. No closure, no curiosity, no front row seat to your comeback. You owe yourself peace and clarity and full focus on what's within your grip. So from this moment on, let everything else fall. Let it crash. Let it rot. It's none of your concern now. If you're done bleeding for what you can't control and ready to build from within, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment. I guard my energy. Number 6. Attraction grows in silence. Here's a law of human nature no one talks about. People crave what they can't control. They're pulled toward what they can't easily predict. Silence isn't just absence. It's power. It's gravity. It's tension without effort. Every time you don't react, every time you don't explain, every time you don't show up where she expects you, you increase your value. Not because you're playing games, but because you've transcended them. She expected drama. She expected noise. She expected you to chase, like all the others, to try to fix what broke, to offer closure she never earned. That's what most men do. That's what she's used to. But you're not most men. You've already taken control of your presence. Now it's your absence that speaks volumes. In a world where noise is constant, silence becomes power. And you are not chaos. You are not background noise. You are the deafening quiet that makes her confront her own echo. Your silence forces her to hear the one thing she can't outrun: regret. You are now the question she can't answer, the man she can't label. You've removed yourself so completely that her ego, once fed by your attention, is starving. You've broken the cycle. You no longer exist to feed her insecurities or offer her validation. You are not the fallback, not the just-in-case comfort zone, not the reminder that she still wanted. Your absence, without explanation or announcement, makes her face the wreckage of her own choices. And the longer you remain quiet, the louder it gets in her mind. She starts to see what she never truly valued, and she realizes, maybe for the first time, that she was never prepared to lose a man like you. You don't need to perform your growth. You don't need to prove your transformation. Let your silence raise the questions she's now too scared to ask. Let the distance you've created weigh heavier than 1,000 angry words ever could. Because real attraction isn't loud. It's not in constant contact. It's not in "look at me" moves. It's in the mystery, the kind she can't decode. The kind that keeps her awake at night wondering, what if I was wrong? If you're done explaining yourself to people who already made up their minds, if you're ready to let silence become your legacy, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I speak loudest in silence. Number 7. Self-respect over validation. When she walked away, she wasn't just ending a chapter. She was issuing a test. A test to see if you'd chase, if you'd abandon your dignity for a taste of being wanted again, if you'd fold just to feel seen. Every time you chase validation from someone who disrespected you, it's like signing a contract that says, "My worth depends on you." And that contract, it's poison. It's the slow death of any man who desires true freedom. Because without self-respect, nothing else you build can stand. Not your success, not your reputation, not even your confidence. It all crumbles if your foundation is cracked. You could have the car, the career, the followers, but if you still need her to say, "You're enough," you're building your empire on sand. A Stoic knows, validation is an inside job. Respect is self-issued. Worth is self-declared. You don't need her to say sorry. You don't need her to recognize the man you've become. You don't even need her to remember your name. You are the one who sets your value. You are the one who decides what you're worth, not her, not anyone. And when you put self-respect above all else, you don't just recover, you become immune. You don't just move on, you evolve. Even if she does realize what she lost, even if she comes back with apologies and memories, it won't matter, because the man she finds waiting won't be the same one she left. He's outgrown the version of himself that ever begged for crumbs. Let her regret, let her wonder, but never, ever let her, or anyone, define who you are again. Self-respect is not a negotiation. It's not for sale. It's not up for debate. You either own it or you stay owned by your past. If you're done trading your soul for scraps of attention, if you're ready to walk untouchable, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My respect is not for sale. Number 8. Build a life she's no longer invited to. Still searching for closure? Here's the truth. Real closure is creation. You build a life so rich, so full, so centered in your purpose that her name barely registers as a footnote. Not out of bitterness, not out of revenge, but because you're finally all in on yourself. She once thought she was the center of your world. She believed you'd always orbit around her. But now, she doesn't even get a seat at the table. When you shift focus to your mission, your mind, your body, your kingdom, the distance between you and her becomes unbridgeable. No apology could close the gap you've created. You're no longer orbiting her. You're launching into a realm she can't access. No updates, no public glow-ups, no carefully curated posts to make her jealous. You don't build for attention. You build for peace. Real kings move in silence. Their success doesn't shout. It resonates. Quiet, heavy, undeniable. Every goal you reach, every milestone you pass, every new chapter you write without her. It's not revenge. It's revelation. It's the message she never thought she'd hear. You were never my destination. You were just a stop along the way. This isn't about making her feel left out. It's about removing her from the equation entirely. You stop asking if she sees your progress. You stop wondering if she regrets walking away. Because your growth has nothing to do with her anymore. She's not your why. Your future is. If you're done leaving the door cracked for ghosts, if you're ready to build a kingdom where only the present belongs, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment, I build for myself. Number 9. Revenge is replacing, not chasing. Let's talk about real revenge. It's not proving her wrong. It's not parading your success like a trophy in her face. It's not screaming the, look what you missed. That's still performing for her approval. That's still rooted in weakness. True revenge, it's replacement. You replace pain with purpose. You replace chaos with clarity. You replace her with a future so powerful she couldn't survive inside it even if she begged to. You don't chase what chose to walk away. You don't resurrect what collapsed. You don't cling. You don't crave. You replace. Not with another woman, not with distraction, but with a version of yourself so elevated, so focused, so complete that the man she once knew no longer exists. He's gone, buried. That man who waited, who begged, who hoped for closure, he doesn't live here anymore. You're not chasing anything now. You're attracting, creating, evolving. Let her chase the ghost she created when she walked away. Let her realize too late that she can't reach you anymore. Not because you're hiding, but because you've outgrown her world. No messages, no warnings, no rebound stories. Just calm, relentless self-mastery. You don't win by getting her attention. You win by becoming so whole that her opinion no longer holds weight. You're not a man scorned. You are a man reborn. If you're done trying to impress the past, if you're ready to replace pain with power, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I replace, I don't chase. After the pain, after the silence, After you stopped chasing and started building, there's one final truth waiting for you to remember it. Number 10. You are already enough. You keep thinking you need to prove something, that if you get stronger, more successful, more stoic, maybe then she'll regret walking away. Maybe then she'll come back. But here's the truth most men never hear, and even fewer believe. You were already enough before she left. You didn't lose her because you weren't enough. You lost yourself the moment you let her opinion define your worth. You gave your power away, hoping she would hand it back in the form of love, attention, or closure. But she never had the authority to determine your value. That power was always yours. A breakup doesn't define you. A cold goodbye doesn't define you. Even her silence doesn't define you. You define you. You were valuable before her. You were enough while she stood beside you. And you're still enough now, even after she's gone. You just forgot it. You let someone else's confusion cloud your own clarity. You allowed temporary rejection to make you question permanent greatness. But greatness isn't granted. It's remembered. It's something that already lives within you and waits for you to stop apologizing for it. You don't need her to see your worth. You don't need anyone to approve your journey. The man who truly understands his value doesn't need an audience. He doesn't seek revenge. He doesn't need applause. He just is. That's real power. That's peace. This is the final step, the real rebirth. When you no longer chase her name, her memory, her recognition, that's when you finally become free. You're not proving her wrong anymore. You're proving yourself right. You're becoming the man you were born to be. Not for her, not for the world, but for you. If you're done living for approval that was never yours to chase, if you're ready to reclaim the power that was always within you, then hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, I am already enough. The final message, this is your choice. Now you've heard it all. You've felt the truth in every word. Now the choice, it's yours. You can stay chained to the past, chasing what's already gone. Or you can build the future that's been waiting for you this whole time. She thought you'd wait. She thought you'd break. She thought you'd disappear into the shadows of your own sorrow. But she thought wrong. The man you're becoming, he doesn't beg. He doesn't collapse. He doesn't chase. He builds. He rises. He walks away in silence from the spaces where he's no longer seen, no longer valued, no longer respected, and he never looks back. Your pain was the fire. Your silence became the weapon. And your rebirth, that is your victory. Never again hand your worth to someone else. Never again let another person hold the pen to your story. Stand tall, walk forward, and become so unshakable that even your past wouldn't recognize you now. If this message hit your soul, if you're not just ready to hear it, but ready to live it, then smash that like button now. Subscribe to Stoic Blessing. Turn on notifications. Lock in with a brotherhood forged in fire, focused on resilience, discipline, and real strength. And drop your final comment below. I owe my future to no one but myself. Stay solid, stay ruthless, stay blessed.